Hello everyone, this is the Crimson Cure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen. Hi. How is everybody today? Just waiting on a few people to come in. Hey, Bishop. Thank you for checking on me. I really appreciate it. Just been taking everything one day at a time. It comes in waves. So I'm just, 1 minute everything is okay, and then the next minute it's like, oh, let me call my dad. And then it's like, oh, you can't call your dad. You can't call him anymore. And that's kind of when it hits me all over again, like, oh, yeah, that. But I'm just taking it as it goes, as it comes. And it's dealing with it as it comes. Hey, One Love McTow. Hey, UFO. Hey, Miss Brenda. Hey, Force. So everybody's weekend has been okay? Has everybody been okay? Hey, Tanya. Are you new? Are you new to the channel, sweetie? I like to welcome the new people when they come, especially the ladies. I like to welcome my sisters when they come. So far, so good. Yeah. I'm going to have a doozy for y'all tomorrow. I'm going to have a doozy tomorrow. Y'all just don't know. So, let's see. It's got 13 people. We're going to go ahead and get started. How you doing today, Father's Time? We're just going to go ahead and get started. We can see the title. They eat what we give them. How women affect the health of her family. Now, not really? Oh. Well, I don't believe that I've seen you in my chat room before. So welcome, welcome. Welcome anyway. So we're just going to begin. Hey, Mrs. GF. They eat what we give them. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about our families. I'm talking about the people in our immediate household. Okay. They, the people in our household, eat what we, the women of our household, gives them. And we're going to talk about what we give them physically to eat, what we give them spiritually and or emotionally to eat, and what we give them mentally to eat. All right? Because make no mistake, women feed their families, but they feed them more than what can be cooked on a stove and served on a plate. And today we're going to talk about that aspect of everything. So let's tackle food, actual literal physical food that we feed to them. And why is this important? This is important because what we put in our bodies has a great determining factor on our health and likely how long we're going to live, and especially in terms of how healthy we are or are not. Hey, Miss Nicole. If you feed your family lots of processed foods, everything or most of the things that you have that you cook for them comes in a can, a box, some sort of bag, or you can microwave it, or it's done really, really fast, or these are complete meals, and if you're feeding your family, your husband and your children and yourself, these things, that says a lot about what you think about yourself and what you think about your family in terms of what you all deserve to consume. What's good enough to consume. Because many times women are the arbiters of the food and what gets bought and the menu and the how the family's going to eat. A lot of times, unless a man has a specific dietary guideline that he follows or something like that, he doesn't really make a whole lot of standard as to what kind of food is coming into the house. So the woman is the one, we're usually the ones that do the food shopping and stuff like that, usually. And so we'll make the determination of what's good and what's not, what we want to buy and what we don't want to buy. And thank you, Bishop said hit the links. You do need to hit the links, because name me another content creator, especially in this sector, that does my content. Who's talking about what women are feeding themselves, their husbands, and their children, and whether or not these things are to the benefit or to the detriment of us? Who else is doing this content? See, not only is the content pure gold, it's unique. It's high value. Typically, things are high value when they are rare. So coming on here, giving you guys this much needed, vital content that you're not going to get anywhere else, I shouldn't have to ask. I really shouldn't. Anyway, So many times women are the ones who make the food choices and the food decisions. The man is just worried about how much money is getting spent on it. Okay, he's managing how much money goes to food per month. And he'll only say something if he thinks it's excessive. But as women and the women of our households, we need to be mindful what we feed not only ourselves, but the people in the house that we claim to love. We'll cozy up with our husbands in a minute and tell them how much we love him, and we'll kiss our children and hug them and coddle them and cuddle with them and all of them, play with them and tell them how much we love them. Yet we will also feed them garbage to eat. Tasty garbage. Doesn't smell like garbage. It doesn't look like garbage, but it is. Your body translates it into trash. Let's start not only with the food, but we can start with, do we eat with our families? Do we even sit down and eat with them? Thank you, D. Miller L. So the message is awesome. Thank you. Do we sit down and eat with them? Thank you, Nicole, for the cash app. Do we sit down and eat with them? You know, in Islam, eating together, even off of the same plate, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that brings the hearts together, to sit and eat from the same plate. I'm here to tell you that taking some food that you as a wife put love and care and time into to prepare and to create for your family. Thank you, Father's Time said no one in this space is bringing this value. Cook, Lioness. I know they need to recognize. Nobody's talking about this. It need to be, but you're not. But anyway, I'm here to tell you, ladies, if you have never done it, you need to. If you're married or you're in a committed relationship, you live with your husband. Extended clips. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Ukhti. Wa alaikum assalam. Wa rahmatullah. If you as a woman live with your husband, you live with your significant other, and you have not spent time to prepare a meal for your family, put that meal on a plate for you and your husband, sit down at the table close to him, and took that food with your hands, and took a morsel of food and put it in his mouth, you haven't lived as a wife. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. If you haven't taken the time to prepare a sumptuous, delicious, healthy meal for yourself and your family, fixed a plate for you and your husband to share, sat close to him, took a morsel of that food with your hand and placed it in his mouth, you haven't lived as a wife. What are you waiting on? Urge you to do it tonight if you've never done it. Thank you, Mr. Boogeyman. If you've never done it, you should. If you do it, or if you've done it before, do it more often. Watch him eat it. Not creepy. Don't be a creep. Don't be weird. Don't make the moment weird. Make it a tender moment. Don't make it a weird, awkward moment. Don't make it awkward. Coming from the queen of awkward, I will make something really weird really fast. So just a warning, don't make that weird. Make it nice, not like this is creepy. Don't be creepy. But you don't want to put, just out of the microwave hot pockets in his mouth. First of all, it's going to burn his tongue because those things are like pits of lava in the middle of them. And I haven't had a hot pocket in probably 30 years or something. And I remember the burn on my tongue trying to eat them whole right out of the microwave. It doesn't work. You don't want to pop a pink slime McNugget in his mouth. You really want to do that? And I know this is a slow wind that I'm doing. Slow cook today. But a cook nonetheless. Because see, you don't want to do that if you're rushing to fix food for them that isn't really food. See, as the women in our households and the ones who buy food, it's our duty to make sure that what we're feeding our family is actually food. Most of us don't do any research on the food. You buy your food anywhere. If you'll buy meat at a corner store, you got issues. If you will buy a package of meat from the neighborhood corner store, you've got problems. You don't care at all. If your children are just as overweight as you are, you've got problems. I've even seen situations where the mother is not even overweight, but her children are. So what does that say? She's not overweight, but her children are. They're eating the lunch food at school and she's letting them eat whatever. If you have children and your pantry and cabinets are full of ice cream, cookies, juice boxes, candies, you think you're doing good by your children by keeping that stuff stocked, you are not doing good for your kids. You're not. And then you wonder why they get diagnosed for ADD and ADHD. You want me to tell you why a lot of your children are getting diagnosed with ADD and ADHD? Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know why a lot of children, not all. Thank you, Ronan. Not all, but a lot of children are getting misdiagnosed. Want to know why? The reason why a lot of your children are being misdiagnosed with ADD, attention deficit disorder, and ADHD, attention deficit, I think it's hyperactive disorder, is because you're giving them too much sugar. Too much sugar. He's got sugar in his cereal in the morning. He's got a juice box, sugar. He's got cookies, sugar. He's got some candy, sugar. You make him a bunch of sandwiches, sugar. You let him eat pizza and ice cream, carbs and sugar. When you cut the sugar, he'll stop. Told this to a young lady years ago about her son. She kept getting diagnosed with ADD. ADD. How much sugar you eating? Well, I don't have them with the candy and stuff like that. How much sugar is he eating? He drink a lot of juice boxes? Yeah. What kind of cereal are you eating in the morning? You know, I give them Frosted Flakes and, you know, this and that. Kids cereal. Kids cereal is nothing but sugar. It's candy in the morning with milk on it. Cut the hidden sugar. Stop trying to, giving them 100% juice is not no better. It's better to eat the fruit than it is to drink the juice. Cut out all that excess sugar. She did. The boy was a different child from what she said, a whole different kid. Could sit down, could pay attention, could focus, stop bouncing around the wall. Diagnosis changed. Oh, he don't need medication. That's why your children are getting diagnosed and then getting pumped full of drugs they don't need. They don't need more drugs. They just need you to unhook them off of a sugar drug. They need you to unaddict them from the sugar that you've hooked them on at a young age. They start that with that Pedialyte stuff and the little juices, the little beech nut juice and the little Gerber and all that juice. It's too much sugar. Feed your baby that. Your baby need water and milk. When they're a little baby, they need milk and then water. You should not be allowing them to consume anything else, especially when they little babies. What they need with apple juice. I'd rather give them the apple sauce. At least apple sauce contains the meat of the apple, which actually contains some fiber. Some of y'all won't even feed y'all babies water. You give them the juice instead of the water. You got them starting off consuming food like you do. And then we wonder why our children are obese. They big like they mama. Because he eating what she eat times 2. Got cavities all in their teeth. All kind of stuff. No restriction, no order, no structure on what to eat. And you act like you ain't got no sense on what to eat. You think because you go to Aldi's with your EBT card and stock up on all the cookies and the cakes and the this and the that and the little snack cakes and the little bar. You think that you really raising your kids. I keep my kids fed. You keep them overfed and doped up on sugar and salt. You do your husband the same. You realize that those supposed food items that you constantly eat, you're going out, you're getting fast food, you're hitting yourself up with all these carbs, sugars, refined salts, and all of that on a daily basis. This is just how you eat. Do you realize that that contributes to depression and anxiety? Did you realize that? Put a 1 in the chat if you realize that, a 2 in the chat if you didn't. I notice a marked difference if I'm clean eating, I'm not eating those refined sugars and salts and all those carbs and all of that stuff. When I'm not eating that stuff, my mood is completely different. If I start trying to eat, you got you some wings one day, you messed around and you got you a little, because Burger King Impossible Whopper, that thing is delicious. You messed around and you got you one of them. I start feeling a different way. I start feeling more negative. I have more depressed thoughts. My anxiety goes up. I become easily agitated. I become sluggish. I become lethargic, and I'm always hungry. You're always hungry when you eat that food. That is why poor people are fat. And people who have more money are not suffering as much from obesity. It's not access to food, because people who are wealthier actually have better access to food than people who are poorer, even if you're on SNAP or EBT. The difference is the quality of the food. See, when we shop nowadays, particularly us as women, we are running around looking for a bargain. What's the cheapest food that we can buy to fill our kitchen with? This is the wrong way to shop. We are also shopping for an entire month's worth or more of food. This is incorrect. Now, if you have children, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a little bit surplus. But trying to buy food for the next 2 months, this is not, because for food to last that long, you're buying canned and heavily processed edible items. I'm reticent to even call it food. You should be shopping once every week or two. You should be shopping at once a week or once every 2 weeks. Because food is perishable. Y'all realize that, don't you? See, we have to start thinking about what food is and what it isn't. Food is perishable. It's something else entirely when it doesn't rot. See, it's not just McDonald's with the pink slime. You think they're not making that same stuff and putting it in a store? And you think just because you're not getting it from Wendy's or McDonald's or Checkers or whatever, that it's supposed to be better, but you still bought the same thing. Thank you, Fit Feminine Over 40 said, we decide if our families live or die by what we feed them. Grow your own. Exactly. Because, see, that's a slow death. Feeding them death will breed death. Feeding your family death will breed death. And in this context, I'm not talking about you have to be vegan and the death of the animal. I'm talking about food that provides no nutrition for the body to such an extent that the body does not even know how to, it doesn't know how to metabolize it. This is where you get cancer from. See, people that still don't know, like, well, you know, we don't know exactly how certain people get cancer. This is how you get it. Because your body does not know how to metabolize non-food that you consume over years and years and years. So it just collects it as a group of cells that are maladaptive. It just collects in the body as carcinogens. It just collects in the body. You think fat is the only thing your body is collecting by eating badly? No, it's collecting all of the garbage in what you consume. It does its best to separate what it can actually use from what it can't. And you aren't going to go to the bathroom and eliminate all of what is waste, because there's cellular waste. So your body breaks food down to the cellular level. And if the cells cannot use it, it just pushes it out and sets it to the side. Like, okay, we don't even know what that is or what to do with it. So it'll just sit over by your heart, or it'll just sit over in your colon, or it'll just sit over in your pancreas, or it'll just sit over in your, you understand? As women, we need to be the ones doing this type of research and looking into what we eat and what we feed the people that we claim to love. You demand that your husband treat you a certain kind of way, talk to you a certain kind of way, but you feed him death on a plate happily and think that you've done your duty. You'll sit there and actually think you've done your duty. You've done something all right. Then you wonder why he suffers from migraines, hypertension, heart problems, digestive problems. The kidneys fail because what's the job of the kidney? To purify the blood. What if the kidney can't do that? The kidney is a filter for the blood. It's a literal filter. Like you would have a filter in anything. You'd have a filter in your vacuum, a filter in your air conditioner, a filter. It filters the dirt and the gunk and the grime in your body out of your blood as much as it possibly can. When you begin to eat garbage for the last 40 years, your kidneys have a tendency to fail you. The filter gives out. It's not supposed to, but then again, you're not supposed to eat garbage. The reason why poorer people are more obese and have more weight problems and weight-related health issues than richer people isn't really because of access to exercise or, whatever. It's because the cheapest food is the most dangerous food. And if you are not wealthy, you have an impoverished mindset. Your mind is impoverished. And when you are walking around with an impoverished mindset, You only think about what's the cheapest item in the store for you to eat, not the best one. So you'll go pick up those sweatshop eggs that's 99 cents for a dozen, and you'll be looking at the organic eggs like, who would pay $3.50 per dozen for organic eggs? Eggs are eggs. No, they're not. No, they're not. You ever had eggs make you nauseous? I can't even smell sweatshop eggs without throwing up a little in my mouth. I do not purchase them little cheap sweatshop eggs. If it don't say cage-free, organic, or something on that, I don't buy those eggs. I'll go without eggs. Nope. When I was drinking milk prior to the keto diet, I only drank organic milk. It came in a smaller thing, but so they like $7 a gallon, but okay. And I'm not drinking that squirrel milk. They out there milking squirrels. You understand? They out there milking caterpillars per gallon. Yeah, them little eggs stink, bronze dips. They stink to all of heaven. That you crack one of them, get the mixing. Ooh, get the stanking. It's gross. I can't eat those eggs. The meat for me is a completely different ball game. If you think I'm going to Jewel's or Walmart or any of them big chain places getting any meat of any sort, you have another thing coming. Oh, I don't eat that meat. No, I have not shopped at a normal meat store since before I was Muslim. Eat that stuff. Before I was Muslim, I was vegetarian because I didn't want to eat it. And then when I became Muslim, I'm like, oh, you can eat meat. It's just got to, listen, my meat is dhabiha, halal. Meaning that not only was it slaughtered in an Islamic way, it was raised organically on a farm. A real cow, a real chicken. Absolutely no pork. I can't even smell pork without being completely nauseous. It give me a headache and everything. The cows are raised organically. They're grass-fed. They're not tortured. The chickens aren't tortured. The lambs aren't tortured. I don't go to anywhere getting packaged meat. I go to a butcher and have them butcher my meat. I've been to places where I've watched them slaughter it. I've watched them slaughter a lamb and then skin it, hang it upside down so it'll bleed out, and then butcher it, and then give me like a lamb leg. Costs like $60 for a whole lamb leg, chopped up stew meat. We eat on it all winter. I don't play games, especially not now. Even when I wasn't doing keto, I was mindful of what we ate, though, especially after my husband got sick with kidney failure. I told y'all the whole diet changed for the household, not just him. Everybody's diet changed. We not buying no more, you know what I'm saying, half gallons of Breyer's ice cream. Everybody got a flavor that they like. And when I think back to how we was eating, it's a shame. You got a bunch of cereal. Some of it is all right, flakes, and because I personally, weirdly, I like plain cereal. Like I like stuff like plain shredded wheat. You know, like I sit there and eat shredded wheat and be happy, right? But you study eating frozen pizza, and then you want, all this other stuff. So it wasn't no better. But I did become mindful of all that salt, and all of those other things. I didn't know about lowering the carbs at that time. I was doing more so research on food that would help him. Things that were lower in potassium, things that were lower, like that. We do not do any due diligence for our families. Let's move on to emotional food that we feed our families. Thank you, Sherry. I don't want to say this other person's real name. RD is your initial, so thank you. And Sleepy Eyes, thank you for your cash apps. Greatly appreciated. What about the emotional food that we feed our families? Many of us feed our families emotional garbage. We feed our husbands emotional garbage. And if there are children around to watch us feed our husbands emotional garbage, they're also eating it. Because they eat the after effect of the garbage. What's emotional garbage that you feed your husband? Complaining unnecessarily and incessantly about household conditions, finances, resources, where you live, you want to move, complaining about the car, complaining about his job, the hours that he spends gone out of the home, these types of things, or complaining about your own personal gripes and problems. You went to work, but you don't like, Tamika at work, and you gets into it with her every week, and what I'm saying, you come in thinking that it's funny to tell your husband all of these things that are going wrong at work. But meanwhile, all he's doing is being stressed out by the news that, first of all, his wife is stressed or not having a good experience. And he's trying to figure out how to resolve an issue that he really can't resolve because you're not going to let him resolve it because you actually like the chaos that's taking place in the home. I mean, in the workplace, you actually like it because it gives you something to talk about every day or every few days. Emotional garbage. It's a difference between letting your husband know what's going on with you and being open and communicative and then giving him emotional garbage. There's a difference between those things. One is helpful. The other one is harmful. If he asks how you feel or how was your day, you need to be filtering what you say. And when I say filter, I mean you need to be filtering whether or not the next words that come out of your mouth are going to be positive or negative in his perception, not yours. You need to be determining whether or not the next things you say out of your mouth are positive or negative according to his perception, not yours, because he's the one receiving the information that you're about to give him. When I was married, I filtered a lot. And when I'm saying filter, I don't mean start lying. I don't mean lie. I don't mean lie to him. I mean, if you had a frivolous little tiff at work about the coffee machine, but you know stuff like that, like kind of agitates him or irritates him somehow, don't tell him that you had a little tiff at the coffee machine. You ain't got to tell him that, especially if it's nothing. Nothing is going to come out of it. It was a 10-second little exchange that you just happen not to like. Know that he sees information differently than you do. Incessant complaining all the time about where you live, what kind of resources, his job, his this, his that. This is all bad. This is all destructive, because what you're really telling your man when you complain about your living, the money in the household, you know, your car, if you don't like the car, you don't feel like it's enough. Do y'all want to know what you're really saying to your man, what he hears? And the men can correct me or not, but put a 1 in the chat if you want to know what your man is hearing you say. Y'all want to know? I'm asking for some crowd participation. When you do an incessant amount of complaining, what you're telling him is that he isn't good enough. He's not providing a good enough place to stay. He's not providing good food for you. He's not providing good transportation for you and your children. He's failing you. That's what you're telling him. Now, how he feels about that depends on the man. Now, the men in the chat can correct me or tell me that I'm right. What say you? Did I hit it on the head or did I miss the mark? You telling them you're not good enough. You don't do good enough. Now, how he interprets that depends on the man. Because some men will start breaking their backs to do more, not realizing that you're just ungrateful. And then there are other men who will be like, yeah, you're ungrateful. Then he has to figure out what he gonna do with this ingrate he done married and had kids with. That's actually a pet peeve of mine, an ingrate. I can't stand an ingrate. I try my best not to be an ingrate. I really do try my best not to be just an ingrate. You know, you're just just unpleasable. You just can't be satisfied. It's just nothing is good enough for you. You always got something was wrong with it, you know. I really try my best not to be no ingrate. Somebody give me something or somebody do something for me, you know, at the very least you try to say thank you pleasantly. Some of you can't even figure out how to do that. Your man come in, he done got you a little something extra. You know, it was a surprise maybe or something. Just something he thought you might like. And then you be like, oh, girl, if you don't fix your face. I have received gifts that I did not care for. I have received gifts that I do not care for. Got me something, I didn't ask for it, I don't even want it. But you know what I did? I didn't have a sour reaction and then try to fix it. Because what I think about is he thought about me. He thought about me. He was out doing something, and this must have caught his eye or something. He thought I would like it, so he got it. He don't mean no harm. He don't mean no harm. I try to look at folks' intentions behind stuff. He gave me the little thing. I saw it. Yeah, I didn't want it. I didn't want that. I really didn't want it. I was glad that it didn't cost much. Poor thing. Then he turned around one time, he bought me a dress. It was ugly. I would never have bought that dress. No dress in my closet should have indicated that I wanted that dress that he brought in to me. I never complained about the dress. As a matter of fact, when he presented the dress to me, I took it, I gave him a huge hug and a huge kiss, and we were gonna go somewhere that day. It was summer, it's a little summer dress. And I went right in there and put that dress on. And put my hijab on. And I came out and I twirled around and, you like it? You like it? He was like, yeah, I like the way it look on you. I didn't. The little pattern was ugly and everything. I didn't like that dress. I kept it though. And I wore it when we went out. I would go somewhere. I would it was in the rotation like the rest of them. He never thought for one moment that I didn't like that dress. When he left out that next day, I just looked at it and I laughed. I was like, look at this. It's ill fitted. Look at the hem is bad. I don't like this. This is ugly right here. This is ugly. I just said that to myself. You know, I didn't tell nobody that I thought that dress was ugly until right now. That I thought that dress was ugly. But the point is that he thought about me. He was somewhere. He had done something that was against his whole demeanor as a man. He had gone into a women's store, looked around at some women's clothing, saw a dress that he liked and that he thought I would like, and purchased it in a women's store. That was against every fiber of that man. I had to put some respect on it, you know? Because this is the man that when he was shopping in the store with me, if I happen to say, oh, I need some underwear, he would be like, I am not standing in the underwear section with you while you pick panties. I'm just not going to do it. So I knew he had went against all his grain to go into that store. It was a chick store. I know exactly where he got that dress. Because I saw it in the window and looked at it funny when I saw it. So I had to put some respect on that, you know? And so when I knew exactly what it meant. I just didn't even hesitate. I gave him a big old hug, a kiss. Thank you, baby. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's pretty. Oh, I like the little pattern. I didn't like that pattern. Oh, I like the pattern. The point of the story was that you cannot demonstrate to them or complain to them about how they provide for you, because they're providing for you. You don't like how you being provided for? Leave and provide for yourself. That solves that, doesn't it? Ebo Sosa said, I can relate 100%. When I'm at the store and call wifey to ask if there's anything I'm forgetting, she say, yeah, can you give me some overnight pads? I mean, like, yeah. I just tried to avoid that. I tried to keep up on that myself. Just don't put him in that position. Poor man. Don't put him in that position. I'm with you, Ronan, about telling the truth, and I like telling the truth, but sometimes I'm just gonna be real, and y'all have heard me talk for years now. I can be very tactless when I talk. I'm so direct that it comes off tactless. Okay? So if that man had come in there with that dress and I had given him my honest opinion about that dress, I can almost guarantee you I would never have gotten another gift, period. So you gotta know yourself, and you gotta know who you're talking to, and you gotta know who you are. And you just gotta know. You just gotta know. So I told a little fib about liking the dress, and I acted it out, because if I had told him, boy, I don't like that ugly, it's ugly, he'd have just looked at me like, are you serious right now? See, gotta be smarter than that. Gotta be a little smarter than that. You think I was trying to play myself because I'm quote unquote want to tell the truth? You better lie. That's so contradictory, because I told y'all don't be lying to y'all man. Don't be lying to y'all man, except where it concerns his ego in a delicate moment where the truth will break his ego. You don't want to do that. You have to know men have fragile egos, and they like their egos to be stroked. And you need to know when and how to stroke his ego in such a way where you are not being facetious about it or phony about it. You're being genuine, and he can feel the genuine nature of what you are saying to him. And the way in which you do that in a genuine way is if you actually care about him. If you care about him, you care about how your words affect him. If I had laughed at the dress or snarled up at it, that would bruise his ego. No, that was not the time for me to be honest. It just wasn't. Think of it how you will. Thank you again, Ronan. So I'm not into wasting money nor time, especially into the ungrateful nor frivolous situations. Fit feminine over 40 know what I'm talking about. She know what I'm talking about. The sisters know what I'm talking about. You got to know when they ego gonna crumble and when it's not. Now, the only time I wouldn't do that is if he would go in there and experiment with food. And at one point in our marriage, he thought that tomato sauce went in everything. And then I had to be, at first I was like gracious about it. Like, oh, baby, thank you for cooking. Thank you for cooking, babe. And then I was hoping to God he didn't do that again. Thank you, Green Machine. Then I was hoping to God he didn't do that no more. Then he came up and did it again. I had to sit him down then. I said, baby, ooh, I'm so appreciative that you thought to cook dinner for us tonight. I really do appreciate you worked all day, and then you was at the masjid all day, and then you told me don't cook so you could cook, and you cooked this meal, and I'm so grateful I'm so grateful for it. But baby, I got one thing that I need to tell you about it. He said, what? And he was all chipper. I hated to do it, but I had to. Because I wasn't going to be able to eat nothing else with stewed tomato paste in it. And I said, baby, no more tomato paste. Okay? He was like, you don't like that? I said, baby, it don't go with everything. The tomatoes, they don't go with everything. Okay? I'm sorry. Oh, he said, wow. And I'm thinking, you didn't taste that? You know, you in there making bachelor hookups. Don't nobody want to eat that? You got a whole wife that know how to throw down in this kitchen. Just let me do it. What am I saying? Stop feeding your family your emotional garbage. Incessant complaints about everything that's going on. Nothing that he does is correct. Nothing is right. Nothing is good. Everything got a problem attached to it. If it don't go perfectly your way, you're mad. Dropping all of your frivolous and insignificant thoughts and quote unquote problems at his feet every day, stressing him out, the arguing for no reason, picking fights and arguments, deciding that morning that you just gonna press his buttons for no reason because you bored today. And I know women that do that. Will press they man button because they bored today. That's a thing. And then you feed your children emotional garbage, because you know what you do to your kids? You share your problems with your kids. Relationship issues that are just between you and their father, you will tell your kids about it. Or you will be talking to somebody on the phone loud where your kids can hear and try to piece together what's going on. Emotional garbage. This also leads to health issues because it's stressful. People running around here with these big bellies, those are stress bellies. That cortisol pile up in your system and your belly get big and then you can't lose your belly. That's stress. Aches, pains, not being able to sleep well. You keep your house in an uproar where can't nobody go to sleep. Or the rest is bad because the energy is bad. The woman of the house is the energy manager. She's the conduit for all the energy in the house. And if she makes that energy unpalatable or uncomfortable for a prolonged period of time, people begin to suffer in that household. Your husband will be somewhere tired as a dog after work. It's late. He wants nothing more than to come in, take a shower, grab him something to eat, maybe make a little love to you and go to bed. That's what he want to do. But he contemplate whether or not he can come home right now because he really waiting on you to go to sleep. But you on demon time, so you up at the witching hour between 12 and 3. Like, you up at demon time. I was waiting on you at the door. You be doing one of them numbers. When he come in, you be sitting in the chair waiting. Not to greet him with love and affection, but to greet him with what's wrong. What you so late for? And just a bunch of nonsense. Emotional garbage. Fit Feminine 40 said something important. She said neither is being a nag or a hag. Hag. Let's look at that. Let's look at how your appearance is in the home. You don't dress well for your man. When you get ready to go outside, can't stop you from putting your costume on. You put your makeup face on. You got your lace front melted just right. You got your nails just right. You got your snuffleupagus lashes sewed on tight. But in the house, you got on that God-forsaken bonnet all day, not just sleeping in it all day. Underneath the bonnet, when you don't got your wig on, you under there looking like Miss Seeley. He just wake up in the morning and you greet him with Maki Dada, can't nobody take from me. You Miss Seeley. He don't wanna. He is not sexually attracted to Miss Seeley. Okay. And jogging pants or them little dirty leggings that you keep wearing 2, 3, 4 days in a row. And them little fluffy house shoes that they like to try to wear outside. It's bad. Your man don't get to have no eye candy with you unless he taking you somewhere. Gotta learn how to reverse that, ladies. They eat what you give them. That means emotional food too. You want him to be romantic and take you places. I'm not taking you nowhere with that Kool-Aid stain on your t-shirt that you done had on for 2 days, and then you done did one of these numbers because the kid's snotty nose. Girl, if you don't, girl. You got to flip that around. I learned how to flip that. You in the house with your man, especially, you know what I'm saying, them kids had got grown. It was just me and him. Yeah. Right. 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 Nobody playing that game. I'm gonna fix this before it fall. Un momento, por favor. Because y'all know it's gonna fall in a minute, don't y'all? We back. I can't go out like that. Can't go out like a sucker. With hijab falling off in public. Can't go out like a sucker. But baby, in that house with no kids. Y'all think I'm playing? Ladies, y'all better figure that out. Y'all better figure it out. If you and your man is at home and them kids at school, them kids is at school, and you and your man just happen to be at the house that day, if you don't get up out that bonnet, I'll come to your house myself and just Bart Simpson choke you. If you're around my age, you better get you some R&B going. Yeah, simp music, whatever. Get you some R&B going or something. And put on a little show or something. I shouldn't have to tell y'all how to do, especially if you low as I am. Even if you dress down, go put on a real cute t-shirt, a real cute shirt, and nothing else. And your hair in a real cute ponytail and some little lip gloss. Men are so simple. Men are simple. They like the glam look sometimes, but they also like the super minimal look as well. Men sound off in the chat room. Yes, Bronze. If your house stank when your man, come on. I wasn't big on scented candles, but I was big on real nice smelling incense and stuff. I'm big on incense. I buy me a big old pack of assorted incense and stuff. I hand-picked the incense, frankincense and myrrh. And you got your little sandalwood, then you got some sweet vanilla. Then you got your strawberry. Then you got your fresh scent. Then you got, I mix it up. Get you a citrus, mix it up. And you come in, the house is clean and it smell good. And he come in and you just sitting on the couch with his t-shirt on, your hair pulled in a ponytail with some lip gloss, how your lip gloss popping, and be like, hey, baby. Or in my case, assalamu alaikum. And he be like, oh, that's what we doing. Oh, this how it is. Oh, okay. It's some food in there. Yeah. I'll get to that in a minute. But what you doing? What you doing? Ooh, extended some bahur or some, it's a scent called genital firdaus. Some firdaus. Get some firdaus. Don't get no oil burner. Don't get no oil burner. He come in like, oh, he dropped that bag. He looked. Oh, then you see that smile. All right. You know what? Hold on. And he be like trying to get the bag. He trying to get that off of him. You feel me? Because he trying to get over there to you. Stop feeding your man emotional garbage. Feed him emotional nutrition. Feed him what energizes him and what invigorates him. Make him think about coming home to you, and that put a smile on his face when he think about, I'm going home. And my wife over there. Yeah. Hey man, you wanna come over there? No, I'll catch y'all later, man. I'm going to the house. Listen, they used to make fun of my first husband. They used to make fun of him. You going in there to mama, huh? He like, first of all, she ain't none of my damn mama. Second of all, mind your business. Because you can't seem to stay married, and I am. He was a savage, y'all. He was like, y'all can't seem to stay married, but I am. And yes, I'm going home to my wife because I like my wife. I like my wife. I actually like spending time with her. I like talking to her. Guess what else? I can play with my wife. I can joke with her. We can laugh. I can even watch the game with my wife. And then you know what? Turn around and she my wife. You know what that means. Right? All right. Peace out, y'all. Assalamu alaikum. I'll see y'all later. I've heard him do this. Outside the door. I was on the inside of the door rolling. I was on the other side of the door laughing. Like, you tell him, baby. Then when he come in, I act like I wasn't listening. I run away from the door, act like I wasn't listening to that. And be like, assalamu alaikum, baby. How you doing? Hey. Hey. And he just be like, I know your little sneaky butt was listening. Whatever. Huh? Yeah. All right. That emotional and mental garbage is one and the same. The mental garbage is the argument. or just creating a sense of tension. You don't let nothing go. You don't apologize. You don't accept an apology. And you tally up every little thing that he do wrong. You keep a tally. One of the worst things you can do in your relationship, and it will end it. Whether there's a divorce that happens on paper or not, he will divorce you in his heart. Y'all don't hear me. Whether a legal divorce takes place or not, he will divorce you in his heart, because that's where men marry and divorce you. In their heart. When they marry you, that marriage for them does not take place in the chapel or at the Justice of the Peace or in the masjid or wherever you was at. That's not when that marriage takes place for them. They decide that before. This is my wife. And in their heart, they marry you. The other stuff is a formality, mainly for you. And when they divorce you, they do it in here. So just because he ain't come to bring you no papers don't mean he's still married to you. That might be the technical case, but that's not the case in his heart. See, you think marriages take place at the ceremony. That's how superficial you are, because you think marriages take place at the ceremony, but they don't. A man accepts you as his wife in his heart first. He comes to that conclusion one day. He's thought about it. He's worked on it. He's contemplated. And then he decided, this is a woman that I am going to marry. This is my wife. And when he assumes that, it is not just a love thing. He's not just saying, I love her and I want to marry her. See, especially when you got an alpha red pill man, he's not just thinking about the love in his heart, because he's probably loved a couple of women that he would never marry. See, when you got an alpha red pill man, it's not necessarily about the love in his heart. I mean, that play a part. But what he's really deciding is that I am going to bring this woman underneath the umbrella of my leadership, my resources. I will protect her. I will guide her. Not only does her physical self belong to me, I'm going to try to take care of her spiritual self, her emotional self. All of that will become my responsibility. And when he look at that woman, he sees a woman he's willing to do that for. That's when he's married to her in here. Am I lying or not? Am I lying or not? Because that's what he's thinking about. We're thinking about the emotional part, which it ain't nothing wrong. Men and women love differently. We love differently. It's okay that we do. We love differently by our nature. Because see, when he takes you as his wife, for him, that is an entire responsibility of another human being and possibly other human beings that are his legacy. It's no small matter to him. Only a man that don't know what he doing or that operates in a blue pill fantasy like a female thinks that marriage is frivolous on his end or on her end. Alpha red pill men know better. Masculine men know better. That's why they vet the way that they do for the women that they want to call wives. That's why they do that, because they not going into that half cocked. No. They have to be at least reasonably sure that this is the woman they want to do all of that for, and that she has enough value to him that he will do that. See, that's the thing. She got to have value in his eyes. And she got to have enough to make, in his mind and in his heart, to make marrying her an equivalent exchange. To make that currency work. See, the currency got to work. Only men with low standards, lacking in their masculinity, still living in a blue pill fantasy, will do that for a woman that they know in their heart of hearts is not worth them doing any of that. Their vetting process of a woman and the way that they evaluate women is not based on the truth of who they are or who women are. And that's when they go wrong. Because they choose a chick based on stuff that doesn't really equate to her true value as a person or her lack thereof. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. The physical things that we feed our families. We have to be extra mindful of what we feed ourselves, what we feed. Listen, take the time to cook a dinner. Even if you're not the best cook. YouTube and the internet got so many recipes and it's cookbooks and this and that. You can cook anything with a recipe. If you know how to follow directions, you can cook anything. And sometimes your food not going to turn out the best or like it look in that cookbook. But if you made genuine effort with love, because food cooked with the energy go into everything. If you cooked it with resentment, it's going to taste bad and he's not going to want it. But if you cooked it with love and you took time out and you was like, oh man, I got to get this right. Maybe it didn't come out 100%, right? But you gave it to him anyway. He see the effort. He going to be like, thank you, baby. He going to show his gratitude about that. He not going to make you feel bad about that. Now, if it's just downright gross, you know, he might still say thank you, but he going to please don't do that no more. Baby, do we need to like start, you know, ordering like meals delivered to us, baby? Cause poor thing. She tried, y'all. She tried, y'all. That was nasty, baby. Did you mix up? Did you put too much baking soda in that? Kind of tastes a little salt. Well, all right. Baby, you go ahead, pick what you want off of Uber Eats, baby. Go ahead. I got you. Whatever you want, I got it, baby. I'm paying for it tonight. Go ahead, order us some Uber Eats, baby. But you ain't like the food, baby. I love you. I love you, girl. I ain't like girl. I like girl. Go ahead and order that Uber Eats, baby. We gonna sit here and watch some movies, all right? No. No, one thing you got is yams, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That one thing you got them yams on deck. You feel me? Yeah, girl, yeah. Go ahead and order that Uber Eats, baby. I'm going to quit messing with y'all today. But that's what I wanted y'all to know. That's what I needed y'all to know. So here's what I want you to do. If you enjoyed today's show, I need you to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I want you to go into the description box and please support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel, A-Game, by clicking the link at agameherbal.com. Go ahead and get your 10% discount using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I will catch you guys on the next one.